This is my Xtreme One Chunk Iron Man, chunk fill, and I am locked to Edgeville. The only way to escape, complete every possible task in the area. And for this, I need to obtain almost every drop from OBOR to get out the starting chunk. I've proved it's possible with having already gained 4 kill count, but now I have to prove it wasn't luck and do it over and over again. Since I basically have no food, suboptimal gear, and no altar, this will definitely be a challenge, but I will complete it. So, with the progression of last episode, with 24 out of 34 tasks completed for this chunk, I am now seeing a roll in sight. Of the tasks left, 9 pertain directly to OBOR. So it is clear what should be the goal of today, and that is to get all of them ticked off, leaving only one task to roll on the chunk picker. This last task is a big one, but that is a matter for later. As for the OBOR kills, to get the loot, I need to open the chest, which is only doable with keys obtained from hill giants, OBOR, or the chest itself. With this gear, the only real way I see of obtaining the keys, at least to start with, is the hill giants. OBOR kills are still taking a while doing the red X method, so they are out for now. 7 kills in, and I've already got a giant key. With all my gear upgrades coming from the chest, it would be most effective to open the chest as I obtain them. But as I just got here, I'll finish off the trip, then head off to OBOR. This is kind of awkward. 3 kills later, and there is a second giant key drop. As a reminder, the drop rate is a 1 in 128, and I got 2 keys in the first few kills. I decided to send them and went off to gear, and then I realised I've got nothing to gear up into. As long as I have almost full HP, I'm ready to go. Let's see how long a singular kill takes. So that took around 9 minutes to kill, which I'm not gonna lie is pretty rough to make not any mistakes within that time. These are the items I'm looking for to start with, at least. Most of them are pretty common, being roughly between 1 in 25 and 1 in 40 for each piece of rune equipment. And this is chest opening number 5, giving me chaos runes. Not what I wanted, won't really speed anything up, but I still have another key to use. Refilled my health again, not had anything rune equipment wise yet, and I worked it out as roughly 1 in 4, 1 in 3, around there, meaning hopefully this time. That didn't go to plan at all, so I died. No clue how it happened, I just couldn't get him into position and he kept hitting me. So my prayer points are up to full once again, but to avoid this becoming the method to refill prayer points, I will not be activating my prayers at all for the rest of this chunk at least. But with this mini bright side, I get to show off a recent update. I can now store an axe at the canoe station, which might be very handy. Since I only have 1 black axe and I need that for wood cutting, I will hand them a steel axe. No need to bank if I die from here on out. Speaking of canoes, I got a lot of comments talking about the canoe situation for rolling chunks. All bar 1 were in support on allowing them as rollable chunks. Not going to lie, you have swayed me to allow it. For anyone complaining that it makes it easier, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It gives me an extra 299s being woodcutting and defense as rollable next, and unlocks a Champions Guild, giving a chance to deal with Champion Scrolls once I've got the quest points to do so. But it does make it more interesting, so really that's the only positive to come out of it. Anyway, I died, but looking at the bright side, I get to see the Angel Gravestone. It does look nice at least, I just don't particularly want to see it too often. So, to increase the chance of successfully setting up the red X method, I've brought some runes, specifically the runes to snare him. So that makes it impossible for him to move before I can stand under him. 1 snare should be enough, and then I can revert to the melee flinching after that. Hopefully this makes the whole flinching method easier to set up and gets everything going a lot more smoothly. Let's give it a go. Going to try first just to set him up normally, but I've taken off any gear giving me negative magic attack just in case with the snare. Okay, that isn't working. Send the snare and it hit. Good. So stand under him now and equip all my other gear and we're set up. I know it looks a bit sloppy, but I think I should be able to get this down pretty easily. As I'm finishing up this kill, I just want to say my goal for this year, even though it might be a bit of a reach, is 5,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying the content, please consider it. Thanks. So that kill is done. Kill number 6. Come on, rune. No. 50 big bones. Not useful at all. Back to the hill giants to grab another giant key. And got it. OBOR is down for kill number 7 and we get gems? I can't believe I'm saying this, but that is more useless than the big bones at this moment. And here is a random level, 20 Slayer. It's boosted up a bit with all the wood cutting, but that unlocks rock slugs. Anyway, back to the hill giants. With this kill, when he finally goes down, that is 500 hill giant kills. I'll pop the loot up on screen. Gotten pretty lucky with keys so far, but I'm sure that will level out eventually. Hopefully, after getting some upgrades from OBOR first. Longbone number 2 at 535 KC. The spoon for keys continue. Key number 8 a few kills later. Let's get some upgrades. And can we get an upgrade? Yes, we can. Yes. The rune plate legs, massive upgrade. Since I don't have anything for the leg slot at all, massive upgrade. Not sure how handy against OBOR it will be, but the hill giant should deal considerably less damage now. I almost forgot to mention, this is a chunk task complete. It occurred to me I didn't actually look at the stats of it. I go from around 30 in the defensive stats all the way up into the 80s, over doubling my defense bonus. It really is a huge upgrade. I think this is a good time to do a bit of a test to gauge roughly how many kills I can get an hour at hill giants, a mini one at least. So my plan is to do a quick 6-minute test and then obviously multiply it by 10 to get a rough kills per hour. And giant key number 9 as I'm halfway through, and something that's more shocking to me, I'm not taking anywhere near as much damage as I was previously. As I said, around 3.5 minutes in and I haven't needed to eat yet. This makes me even happier about the plate legs drop. Struggling to imagine what it will be like with the rest of the rune armor as well. And that is the 6 minutes up. I managed to get 13 kills in that time, so around 130 kills an hour. With an average drop rate of the club and the keys, it should take roughly 15,000 hill giant kills. So that's just over 100 hour grind if I don't go dry. Obviously not including the actual OBOR kills, which will probably add significantly to that time. But overall, this actually seems quite manageable, which is a surprise. Incoming kill number 9 for Chaos Runes. Shame I couldn't get back to back, but nevertheless, the number still goes up. Key number 10. Hill number 10. And a prayer level, 48 prayer. But can we get anything? No. Cosmic runes. Maybe useful for ring enchants in the future though. Longbone number 3 at 800 KC, going under the rate for them. Yay. OBOR down for the 11th time for lore runes. I don't know how I'm getting so unlucky with armor and weapons here, but I'm sure it will happen eventually. It just takes a bit of patience. First real milestone at the hill giants, and I missed it. 1,000 kill count. First time I'm in the 4 digits for the giants at least. The seeds are looking good and the keys are way above average, so that's nice. Let's hope it doesn't get as tedious as the main kills did. Kill number 12, and what do we get this time? Big bones again. Not as lucrative as the wiki led me to believe when looking at the chest loot table. Bit of a curveball here, but in my downtime I've been woodcutting in preparation of that long overarching GP goal of 5 million GP, and I just hit 83 woodcutting. Quite a long way in, but I have a feeling there is much further to go. And we're all the way up to hill giant kill count of 2,000. I've stacked up the keys a little bit, went a tiny bit below rate for them, bit of a change up, but that was to be expected. Oh, and 50 prayer as well, nice round number. But anyway, let's go send some OBOR kill count, shall we? Unlucky number 13 gets me nature runes. Not really lacking them since I get a lot of them from the hill giants, but it was a decent chunk of them at least. 14 gives us gems. This chest is cursed, I'm sure of it now. Chest 15 gives us cosmic runes. The rune items were meant to be 1 in 4. How am I at 1 in 15 at this point? 16 and cosmic runes again. This is crazy. But anyway, that was a fairly smooth kill. I think I'm going to eat up a little and try for a 2-kill trip. As long as my clicks are on point, this theoretically is a 0 damage method, and I'm feeling good about it. Let's go. And we did it. First 2-kill trip, and it went pretty smoothly. All for chaos runes. But you know what? I don't think I'm done there. I think I'm going to try for a 3rd. And we did it, even smoother than the second one, and a combat achievement, my first non-kill count related one as well, squishing the giant, which is taking no damage off prayer, so it was a perfect kill. This is very nice. Do I get rewarded though? No, nature runes again. Anyway, I'm out of keys again, so let's go grab 1 or 2 more. Grabbed another key, and this is kill 19, just going to open it. Lore runes, oh yay. So I'm here again after 3,000 hill giant kills. I managed to grab 7 keys from it, and most of them were in the second half of it. So time to speedrun it. Can I get anything of note? Nope. Nope. Nothing. Big nothing. Limpwort roots. So nope. Seriously? Still nothing. Final kill, and oh, a rune med helm. The worst equipment I could have got, but that is still a big upgrade from the spiny helm. So that is 26 OBOR KC, and it's not looking great. I'll pop up the total loot on screen now. Looks a bit sad really. Anyway, the rune med helm, not a bad upgrade really. Plus 13 across the board over the spiny helm, and it is also my best in slot range helm. Meaning that it is a chunk task complete. If only I had a ranged weapon, there would have been more viable alternatives to OBOR, but I got the helmet at least. So my plan is to stack up the keys again with the killing of another 1,000 hill giants with my level 10 black sword, and it is done. That is kill number 4,000. Not as lucky with the keys, at least this time, but I can't expect it every time. I got my second mystery box now, and there is still the chance of an upgrade of the steel plate body or the mithril scimitar available. Can we get them? Nope. Nothing. Would have been a blue scroll, but I already have a medium since I don't have any doable steps near me anyway. Also, the times are officially changing. I have a lamp, and with this lamp I'm going to get a level 2 agility. The time of slayer lamping is done, for a bit at least. So the reason for this is I would like the run regen, since this is a decent way from the bank. As long as I don't hit 15 agility, I don't unlock Brio and Scorius. But before that, I think I'm pretty safe to train it up a little bit at least. Key number 1 of 6, and that gives us a rune plate skirt. If only I didn't already have the legs, not an upgrade or chunk task sadly. Number 2 for coins. First time getting that drop, can't complain, it's just raw cash. And number 3, 29 KC for rune longsword, yes! Finally, an amazing upgrade, and that's the one I wanted. Absolutely huge. Post editor here, notice something on the ground still? I didn't, but this is the first giant key from the chest, and I completely missed it. I was way too focused on the rune longsword. Oh well, just so you know, I missed it. So, this is an upgrade from tier 10 all the way up to tier 40. Look at those stat differences. Jeez. So, it doesn't change everything, but it does change a fair bit. Anyway, with a chunk task completed as well, it is classed as the best in slot melee weapon, and my max hit will definitely have gone up a fair bit from it, speeding everything up a good amount. So now the drops remaining for the chunk tasks at least is the rune full helm, the rune chain body, and the hill giant club. Although I would appreciate getting the rune battle axe and the rune two-handed sword before the end of it too, as they are decent flinch weapons in certain situations. Dupes are also good for the GP value from alcheming them, since the other looming task completely revolves around GP. Anyway, let's go test this new shiny sword out. I still have 3 keys after all. This seems way more accurate, so that's amazing. 15 max hit, that is a huge leap. And OBOR goes down a lot smoother than previously, and not expecting anything. What can I get? Nature runes, yeah, that checks out. Chest 31 for, oh, rune battle axe. They're all coming in now, aren't they? Higher melee strength, but slower. Maybe an upgrade in the sense of flinching things, but alas, it isn't a chunk task. This is the last key for this round. Couldn't have been happier with the drops, even though a few were duds, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Incoming with 70 attack, nice and round. Time to move on to getting my defense up to 70 now, and base 70 melee stats. Little update, just hit 69 HP, but that also ticked us over 85 combat, which has a very niche use for me. If I head up here, the level 42 hobgoblins no longer are aggressive, which is a tiny change, but with the limited space I have, it is a notable difference. So after the fumble earlier on with the missing a giant key from the OBOR chest, I've added a nice massive loot beam for the giant keys. No chance of missing one ever again, unless I DC. Another 1000 kills and another 7 keys. Let's go get some loot. Rune plate legs, lore runes, limpwort roots, but also a giant key, and I didn't miss it this time. Lore runes again. Oh, rune kite shield, yes! That is a chunk task and a massive upgrade once again. Plus 26 every defense over the mithril kite shield. Nice. And I need to run away now. No, can't believe I died after climbing. Ugh. Back again for cosmic runes and chaos runes. Final key, kill 40 for a rune full helm. The upgrades are coming in fast now, and also a chunk task. That leaves the chain body as the last item to become a full-on tank. Another 1000 hill giant kills down for a total of 6009 keys. Nothing interesting happens in those kills, or any other 1000 kills at this point. Not had another curve bone, and every other drop is very similar to the last. So let's spoon the last 2 chunk tasks, being the rune chain body and the hill giant club, and get out of here. Rune longsword drop could be handy, especially if I end up going to the wilderness and losing one. Not upset about it at all. Coins, 55 prayer, and gems, but another key too, so free kill. Second rune med helm, low alch price sadly. Chest 45 coming in, and yes, rune chain body chunk task completed. And now I'm fully geared up with my best in slot against the hill giants. Now I think I'm going to leave it there for a little, gather up some more keys, and then I have a mini goal that I want to complete. But it feels good to be fully geared up instead of having odd bits of gear here and there. Look at that. First time I've ever had this, but that is 3 long bones all within the same inventory. Still no second curve bone. On another note, I'm no longer needing to bring food to the hill giants anymore. Even though I had a good few thousand cooked meats in the bank, it feels good for that stack not to be slowly drained constantly. Incoming with another lamp, and there is level 5 agility. Not seeing much of a drain difference in run energy, but I'm sure it's helping me out in the background. Probably doesn't help that I now have more gear than before and weigh a lot more. And there is 70 defense and 88 combat, which means I am base 70s in the melee stats. I guess this means strength is the way to go with training from now on. We are outside the OBOR cave, all set up, and we're starting at 45 kc. I've got 5 keys which should round me up to 50 kc, but in that time there are 2 combat tasks for OBOR that I'm missing. The first is to kill OBOR in a free to play world. Not difficult since all my gear is free to play anyway. The second, however, is Sleeping Giant. Kill OBOR while he is immobilized. Normally this is straightforward, but without prayer it is less so. So I think I've got to come up with an alternative method, and that is, well, you'll just have to find out. So I'm in a free to play world, got him down to 15 HP with just flinching, but I'm gonna try and get both of the tasks at the same time. My HP is almost full, so that should help. The plan is to just trying to snare him, then flinching and hopefully getting the kill in the next 10 seconds. Not going great with the negative magic attack, but there we go. And that is both done in one. Nice. I expected a much tougher time, not gonna lie, but that is all the OBOR combat tasks done. Even though it's not a chunk task, I wouldn't have felt complete without them, since clearly they were doable. There was no hill giant head there, which is sad, and of course I only got some chaos runes for the trouble. Anyway, changing back to a members world, and I'll go finish off that 50 kc. 47 gives more chaos runes, 48 for lore runes, 49 death runes. It feels rarer than the other ones for some reason. And finally, kill 50, I get another rune longsword. Still waiting on the rune two-handed, but with that rounded out KC and another rune drop, I think it is time to pivot once again. Since even though I have the items to alch, I don't have the level to alch them, as I'm only 50 magic. High level alchemy requires 55. Hill giants don't seem like the best options for runes, aside from the fire and nature runes, so it's time to head elsewhere. So this monster is in the wilderness, even though it is Edgeville dungeon, it is still the wilderness, so I need to be mindful and not take all my gear. So time to 3-item it. I'll bank the chain body and plate legs for now and see how it goes with just the full helm and the kite shield. So let's not hang around here and get to it. The monster, of course, is Chaos Druids, dropping 36 air runes at a 1 in 40, and many other runes alongside it. The best way to train up magic without using up nature runes and fire runes would be either combat spells or telekinetic grab, since I do have a good amount of lore runes banked already. So trip number 2, and that went very well. By my calculations, I have over half the air runes I require now. Also, the Chaos Druids are going down a lot more smoothly than last time, probably because of the weapon. This is the last air rune drop I actually needed. So this didn't take too long in reality, so let's reassess at the bank. Here we are, this is my rune tab, and I mainly want to train magic with telekinetic grab. I have just under 1000 lore runes right now, and to go from 50 to 55 I'd need roughly 1350. But instead of getting the lore runes from Chaos Druids, which is a bit slow, I think a good thing to do would be to combine the OBOR and magic grind together. OBOR, as I know sadly, drops a decent amount of lore runes. So the plan is to grab around 25 keys or so and then send it. Hopefully get a few drops of the lore runes, or even better get the club. I think it's time to get key gathering. 7500 hill giants in and I'm up to 17 keys, and this is the overall loot. Still no second curved bone sadly, but we are up to 3.4 million in value, which is absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's get those last 8 keys. And there it is, the 25th key. This took longer than I'd like to admit, but anyway, now it's on to OBOR. Been a while since I've been here, but 51 kill count for Limpwet Roots. And can I set up the back-to-back smoothly? Yes, I can. Coin drop and a rune drop, but sadly it's the wrong one. Nature runes. Chaos runes. Another kill for lore runes. 84 of them. Nice. Just need a few more drops like that. Chaos runes again. Rune full helm again. Nice alch. More Limpwet Roots. OBOR bites the dust for some more chaos runes. 60 OBOR KC and a rune med helm. And I really have to bank, but this is actually a 10 kill OBOR trip, which is kind of crazy. Finally, a giant key drop. I've missed that loot beam and 57 prayer. Now for the big question, do I get lucky? No. Cosmic runes. Another chest and lore runes, although it's a pretty low amount at 60 sadly. 63 KC for chaos runes. Yeah. Coins again. Let's speed through these last ones with the game of can I get lore runes? No, nope, no, nope, very big nope, no, wrong runes, double wrong runes, shiny key but nope, a bony kind of nope, and last one, 75 KC for a rune full helm. This was not as lucrative as I thought, sadly. I looked it up and lore runes are meant to be more common than chaos runes, but it really does not feel that way at all. However, on the bright side, I do have more magic XP banked than before, which I think is definitely coping, but what I think I'm going to do right now is grab some more keys yet again. 11 keys in and there is 75 strength, and it says I unlocked some stuff. Let's see what that is and if there's anything even close to me. Nope, definitely not. Sad. So there was a comment all the way back in episode 1 by I Play Vane, and it mentions when my inventory is full, hopping over to a PvP world and filling up a looting bag would help save some time by not having to run to the bank as much, at least. So let's give it a go. My heart is racing a bit, not gonna lie. Don't want to lose my gear, but here goes nothing. Looks good. No one is here now. Let's try and use them on the bag. No, it really does not seem to be working. That's a shame. Maybe it would still be worthwhile going to the wilderness for it instead. But let's go check that out. It does work in the wilderness, but it is a bit of a pain putting things in individually, slowing down the process. So sadly, this is a flop. Would have been nice, but I just have to do it the regular way. And with this lamp, that is level 10 agility. Not sure how much further I dare to level it up, although I think I may go all the way up to level 14. The Grand Exchange shortcut is at level 21, so the lowest obstacle in the near vicinity at least is the monkey bars themselves. But 2 digits in agility is a very nice milestone. I haven't forgotten about my tangent. Hence why I'm back at the Chaos Druids. I'm not a fan of waiting for any more lore runes, so what I'm doing is grabbing more air runes. Then I'm going to use some combat spells alongside the telekinetic grab, but this should be enough for my plan, so let's get it all set out. The plan is I have these spare runes, and I need to get roughly up to the 114,000 XP magic mark before I can finish it off with telekinetic grab. I'm going to use a mesh of monster inspect and earth strike against the hill giants, and I'm going to utilize that earth weakness for some more XP, and that should get me to the point I need. Let's go. Just over 200 earth strike casts in, and there is the first level. I don't think I'll need to use Monster Inspect, which is really nice because that's a pain to use. But let's finish up here. No keys yet though. So I went a little over and got up to 115,000 magic experience. The Earth Weakness helped a ton. And I won't be too rune poor after this grind either, which is a bit of a relief for future chunks, to be honest. Back at the bank, and this may be a familiar sight to some of you, but I do have a full inventory of jugs, which I will drop and then telegrab them all up again and repeat that over and over again. I'll put an XP tracker up on the top to see what kind of XP rate it's giving me. I seem to remember it wasn't too bad really. It's seeming to come up to around 55,000 XP an hour, so a maintainable average. So this should take me less than an hour, which I am happy about since it is a lot of clicking. 52 magic, 53, 54, and 55 magic obtained, unlocking high level alchemy. So the excess rune equipment drops will not go to waste. Let's grab one out now, just for the satisfaction of using the newly unlocked spell. The least useful, I think, is the rune battle axe. And bam, 25,000 gold. Very satisfying. Now, to grab the keys I've gathered out of the bank and add to it. The next goal is 100 OBOR kill count, and I have enough at this point to get up to 88. So off to hill giants again. So, I kid you not, I just got back-to-back keys, and this is the second time this has happened, and working out the odds, that is 1 in 16,384. So it seems that is where all of my luck is going, and I just got another one. Very much where my luck is going, for sure. And this is going to be my 10,000th hill giant KC. I'll pop the loot up on screen, and with this I can talk about some of the drops. Went over 100,000 gold, also pretty lucky on the keys still, so that's the main thing, considering that's why we're here. Long bones are interesting, very lucky with 35 long bones, so that's a drop rate of 1 in 285 when they're meant to be 1 in 400, so I'm 10 over the drop rate. I still only have a singular curve bone drop though, so I'm very happy I got that earlier on. Also, I have a good amount of arrows now, so that's very nice. However, I need a bow to use them, and I can't see that being too attainable in the near future. The plan now, however, is I'm needing a change up. And the obvious option is to go and use up the keys I have, and I've been thinking it would save me a good amount of time if I don't have a large amount of keys stacked up when I do get the Hill Giant Club, because that would just equate to wasted time in reality. Coming in with the first kill in a good while, KC 76 for Death Runes. 77 gives me some big bones. although another giant key. I love seeing that loot beam. On another note, I feel like I'm quite rusty, so I better heal up before the next kill. And while I'm working on the next kill, I feel like it would be a good time to refresh on the drop table. So I'd split it into 3 separate sections. The equipment, everything is quite good for me, GP or dupe wise. Missing the rune 2-handed still, and I'm at double the drop rate for that. It's not a chunk task, but I feel like it could be the best flinch weapon in a lot of situations. So hopefully I get that soon. It's actually probably quite good for OBOR too. On to the second section, the runes. They might be useful in the future, but I'm a bit tired of everything from here right now. The final section is the random stuff. The big bones will be good if I roll the 99 prayer chunk, and the coins very handy in general. And apart from that, the key drop is at a 1 in 16, both from my OBOR and the chest. So that's more like a 1 in 8. But let's see what I can get. Oof. Lore runes. 79. Nope. 80. Coins. 81 for coins again. Right. I think it's time to speedrun a few of these. Can we get the rune 2-hander or the hill giant club? Nope. Nope, no, but a giant key. Nope, nope, nope. 73 hit points. No, no, nope. So unlucky. Nope, nope, nope. Nada. No, and that was kill 95. Last one and nothing. So it turns out I've been doing OBOR wrong for the longest time, and I can hit 16s now apparently. That kind of minimizes my new announcement a little bit, but with flinching OBOR, attack speed doesn't really matter, meaning the rune battle axe should be a better weapon against OBOR since the strength bonus is higher, giving it a max hit. This got me thinking though, previously killing the hill giants were a no-brainer for keys since the OBOR kills were like 10 minutes long, but they aren't anymore. And what better way to spend my time if not testing which is the better way for me to gain keys. So I'm going to track my KC killing hill giants for an hour to work out the keys gained per hour on average, and I'm also going to test to see the newer kill times of OBOR. With the key drops being 1 in 16, that might actually turn out to be the better alternative. Coming to the 15-minute mark, and that is 44 hill giants down. Hopefully I can keep this kill speed up, but my inventory is already filling up, so that's not a good sign. 30 minutes has come and gone, and I have been and banked, so that has brought my kills down to 80, so on track for around 160 kills an hour. Let's finish it up and see the results. That is the hour up. I managed to get 162 kills in that hour, including 2 trips to the bank. That works out at around 1.26 keys an hour. So now on to OBOR and roughly how many kills I can get an hour there. For it to be better than hill giants, I need to be able to get around 21 kills an hour, well 20.25, but we round up. So this might be a bit of a stretch. In we are, so I'm going to time how long each kill takes and work it out from there. And of course I forgot to bring the battle axe, but we've been able to hit 16s with a longsword now. It should only be a marginal difference. If it comes down to the wire, I'll retest it. First kill took just under 3 minutes, and that is kill 97. I can open the chest since I've got a few keys from the hill giants still, and that is death runes. Second kill took an extra minute, but I did get a giant key, so that's nice. 4-minute kill and a rune plate leg drop. Third kill coming in, and that was another 4-minute kill. Okay, final kill, and what was that one? Roughly 4 minutes again, and this chest is number 100 for a rune kite shield. My first dupe of that one actually, so that's nice. But I think that's enough to get a rough idea. So it's roughly 4-minute kills unless my RNG is going crazy. Even without including the banking, that's only around 15 kills an hour. So definitely less than 1 key an hour on average. So much for that theory. Hill giants win. A bit less concentration is also making the thought of that a bit nicer than OBOR. Having opened the OBOR chest 100 times, I have decided it is optimization time. So, with the thought process of if I go dry on this, even going double the drop rate adds over an extra 10,000 hill giant kills. And with that, one of the main time sinks I have is the banking. Collecting everything is all well and good, but it would save me hours if I call a good amount of the item drops. So editor me, bring up the drop table please. Thank you. Now as you can see, there is a lot of trash. So let's go through it. Herbs, even though they're great, I can get many of them faster at the Chaos Druids if the need arises. So bye bye herbs. Weapons and armor, they sell for a little, but not much. So again, bye bye. Seeds are stackable and so are the runes. No point leaving them on the ground, so they get to stay. Hill giant heads, beers, gone. The limpwort roots and body talismans may come in handy in the nearish future, so I'll keep on collecting them. So that leaves coins and giant keys. Obviously, both of them get to stay. So this drastically reduces the inventory clutter and should hopefully double my trip length. And that is my Hill Giant Chunk TED Talk. Thank you very much. So this is the new and improved banking inventory. Not going to lie, it does look a lot cleaner and I did last a good amount longer too. Onwards and upwards. This guy looks amazing. First time I've ever seen a cannon down here, and such a dragon warrior too. What a beast. But I'm going to hop. The cannon is pretty annoying. Just wanted to show off his amazing fashionscape. So with this key, that is the last key to guarantee me hitting the drop rate of the Hill Giant Club. I am going to finish this trip up and then I'm going to send it and hopefully get everything by the drop rate. Time for another OBOR chest speedrun. Something I forgot to mention is the kill count it took me to hit the drop rate on the keys from OBOR and his chest, and obviously the Hill Giants. My finishing kill count for Hill Giants to get the 118 keys is 12,428 kills. I'll pop the loot up on the screen real quick. And it's a lot of random stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I think I got everything from the drop table there. Still only the singular curved bone drop, which is crazy. But anyway, OBOR time. Who doesn't love that face? Because I do. Chest 101 and nope. Come on. Nope. Nope. And now I have a time pressure with a system update. 104 for death runes, 105 giant key and nope, 106 nope, 107 coins, 108 with 1 minute left, lore runes, nah, nope, no. And the next one, Dogi predicted for me to be getting the drop, 111, and is it? No, but that is a nice addition. The rune two-handed sword, finally. I wonder what I can hit with this thing. Probably a best in slot against OBOR for me at least. I can at least hit 18s, but that's not the max. Is 20 possible? No max hit, but that kill felt nice. 112 gives me lore runes. Sad. Another one down, and I can now hit 19s. That's amazing. Giant key, but ultimately nope. 4 to the drop rate, and nope. Another giant key and a dupe chain body. 116, and nope. And another update for some reason, but this means I can time the kills easily, testing out the rune two-hander. So let's go. 117. Oh my. He got it. Yes. 1 below the drop rate. That's absolutely amazing. Let me collect my thoughts and I'll get back to you. So that is one of the 2 major tasks done in this chunk. This one I feel could have dragged on a lot longer because it is the main one that is RNG focused. However, there is still one massively looming task left, and we will get to that next time, but we are closer than you think.